Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Michael Venezia, head trader at TradeView Markets. It's Monday morning, November 1st, the beginning of the month. You know what? I really don't, except at the end of the quarters. Quarters are important to me. Actually, Fridays, which have been predicated by gamma squeezes lately. So, it is the first of the month. I really don't even, I go through my motions. I really don't look at the numbers that much. I have the team works for me. I trust the team. That's why I'm at a firm, if you will. So it's not about what the date is. It's about what's going on. I mean, everything there's just so much movement going on. It's really, really quite irrelevant. And as I said before on the desk many, many, many years back, the worst day of the week is a Friday afternoon for me, but now it's 24/7. So you know what? Fear of FOMO is prevalent. There's always another trade. I see a lot of people getting frustrated because, there have been big swings, and a lot of people put up their P&Ls and they don't show a lot of losses. And I've been doing this for a quarter century, and I don't mean to be redundant, but you always hear about the winners and not the losers. So just stay in your lane, stay with your system, try to cut down the noise, and we're going to help you get by a little bit more. Okay. Here we go, is the TradeView Markets website. I sign in the same in the mornings, or same all the time as everybody else. So here I sign into TradeGATEHub. Same for me, same for everyone. Log in. Okay. For everybody that watches, that Monday morning, and it's the most important morning because it's the most important data, and it's the most amount of data that I put out. And once again, it's not about the amount of data that I could put out. I mean, if I wanted to, I could be clicking all day long and putting out, tons of data, but I try to make it, or I think I do make it from the feedback that I've been getting, that the data is about quality and not quantity. I mean, I go by the masses. I have to put my ego aside at this point, and I do what's best for what I think is best for everybody, based upon the feedback and based upon how people are trading or doing on what we do here. So you know what? I equate it to a menu. I don't like to sit down and have a 5-page menu. But it's going and have a 5-page menu. I think less is better, and I don't like to be inundated with information. So here it is, what we do Monday morning. And by the way, I also know that the key is consistency, and the data that I put out is it's consistent. And even by the flow of the order that I put in, because I don't want all these answers. I mean, listen, practice makes perfect. And we could throw 1,000 cliches out here about how teams practice for 6 days a week just to play for a 60-minute game. You know what I mean? It's the same here. Listen, I get up at 3:30 Eastern in the morning. I don't expect to flip on the switch at 9:25 Eastern and everything come to me, and I shouldn't. And by the way, that's not how, it's never going to work that way. And our job here at TradeGATEHub or TradeView Markets is, you could do it in 3 stages. You can go on it, you can go to the store and buy fish, or, you're going to pay up 3-4 times the amount of money, or you can go on a charter boat and the guy can bait it for you and bait some fish. And you can go on, the guy can feed you, or the captain, if you will, and teach you how to, and show you what you're doing. Maybe you go out 8 or 10 times. You're on TradeGATEHub for, a year or two, and then eventually you're going to start, baiting your own hooks, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. Quite honestly, and it was a line from Good Will Hunting when, there were 2 friends, and he hoped that he would never pick them up and see him one day again. Quite honestly, I hope some people can graduate and don't have to be on here anymore. It's community, and we like to, we like to belong. I'm in another chat room myself just for the belong factor. Believe me, I don't think anybody there is going to give me anything that I do or don't know. I do appreciate the fact that 4 eyes are better than 2 and 6 eyes are better than 4. So let me get back to what we're doing here. And this is the data that I consist almost in order, if you will, on Mondays. Good morning. Always watch Michael Santoli. He gives you one of the best feedbacks, if not the best feedback, on my opinion. I'm not alone here, on a recap of what the market is doing on a macro level, and also maybe afterwards of what the market closes. Another thing from Michael Santoli right here. Watch it. Okay, so tactical sentiment. I post this every day. So we came in today after making all-time highs right here. Now, today we're up where? We're down 2 handles. The right here, the Nasdaq is down. Listen, we're doing nothing. We're resting, if you will. So that would put us probably today. It would lead us. So we're still overbought. Don't get me wrong. We're not overly, in the red. We're right here. Okay, we're about right here. So it's profit taking. I'm not saying pick tops across the board. I did fade some things, and I'll get to that in a second. Fear and greed over time. So with today, the market up a little bit. I'm not fearful. The VIX is up a little bit, but we're right here. We have more to go. Gamma exposure, it's a little stretched. We have to listen. This is something I post every day, and something you're going to have to get used to. I have to get used to it too. This is new. This is in my playbook now. This wasn't in my playbook a year ago. But you know what? It's one of the two or three things driving the market right now. SPY gamma exposure. As a matter of fact, when it comes to options, which are on Friday, a big options expiration is coming this November 19th, which is Friday, which is the day before Timothy Fury birthday, which is November 20th. It's a big observation expo. That's why I remember it. So keep that in mind as well. Sector sentiment going in today. I post it every day. Basic materials overbought. By the way, if you can't see it, blow it up. This goes back about a year. It's not even like a quarter time frame. So it's the parameters are stretched. It's not I'm not micromanaging these sectors. Biotech's bouncing a little bit. Consumer discretionaries, yeah, Procter and Gamble may be a little extended. Energy, I'm short a couple now. I'll get to that after. So by the way, technology stretched, utilities stretched, semi stretched, miners, GDX, if you will. Oil producers, they're up the most. So I'll tell you what my plan was going into here. Okay. Now, world markets, we're an international firm. I don't know how many countries we deal with, so I put it up. It's also good for cocktail conversation. I'd like to be educated on all fronts. This is one of them. Okay. This is crude sentiment. Once again, I know we have a lot of new people tuning in today, if you will. This is a sentiment. Sentiment is one tool. It's not the only tool. So when things get stretched one way or another, everybody starts getting all excited. But like I say, if you're going to sit down to a meal, we're trying to give you the tools to sit down and eat the meal correctly. This is just the fork. There's also a spoon and there's a knife. And some people might eat with their hands. I don't know, some people on here, but that's what we're doing here. NASDAQ stretched a little bit too. Now in the red, because we opened up nicely. So watch the fade. Let me go through what happened this morning with the NASDAQ. So QQQ, let me not inundate everybody with information. By the way, I don't know why this was I don't know why this is coming in from yesterday. This is this morning, if you look November 1st. So this was today's fade on the Qs. The Qs opened up at 386. And at 10:13, you look back here, they went to 384. Now it's a $380 stock, if you will. But you know what happened is stocks like Google pulled in nicely, that were strong that have been strong and have been leading, if you will. Google, Amazon had the day. That closed right at the 200-day. So I say to myself, the NASDAQ is stretched. Amazon was weak on Friday. The stock opened up at 375. You made 40 points or whatever it is. I didn't trade it myself, but it's when the NASDAQ is stretched, okay, I'll get back to it. It may or may not work, and you're going to be wrong before you're going to be right. But when technology opens up nicely, is stretched, and I said this morning, when the NASDAQ opens up nicely and it's overbought, you take a stab at something that's weak, and that was something that worked. So now in the red, so watch the fade. S&P futures fade. Let me go by the chart of the SPY. So that's the SPI, if you will. Right here. So we opened up this morning. We opened up about right here. Oh, hold on. We opened up S&P future sentiment. We opened up 30 handles this morning. We opened right here. So you might went through a little bit of pain, but this is the chart on the SPY. And they opened up right here is where they closed. We opened up here. 459, 460. Had the little rip and dip. and they went from 460 to 458. It was a little bit of a fade. So what are you going to do? Okay. Once again, the information that I keep posting consistently, hedge funds, when they sell, you see when hedge funds start selling, it means there's cash on the sidelines. It's actually bullish. Bank of America tools, go over it. A couple of catalysts that will move stocks today, go over them. Goldman Sentiment indicator. This is exactly why we popped. About 2 weeks ago, the market, the Goldman people said, that's it, we won out. And where was the market at that point? QQQ. If you look, that was 2 weeks ago. Let's go to a daily. 2 weeks ago is where they sold right here. They sold in the 200 day. I'm surprised. So if you look right here, that was about 10:20, the date is about 10:20 the date. You know, when Goldman says when it's light positioning, that's bullish. That means Goldman Sachs is lightly positioned and has so much money on the sidelines. So I said, if you've been following, we posted 2 weeks ago that they dumped. ETF bullishment, NASDAQ, Nat gas future sentiment. Coach would be very interested in like that. This is not a pat on the back. There's always another trade, but we made a nice trade in natural gas going back to the chart. Or you know what? You want to go back, UNG's here. This was the trade right in that channel. And you know what? I might even do it later, and I'm not placating. Go back to all the videos here. All the videos are in the YouTube archives. Yes, it is. Thank you. I hope it's not a margin call. Anyway, so that was NASDAQ, Nat Gas. Xpeng shares right after the Chinese maker. So I put this 4 hours ago. Once again, not to be redundant, but Xpeng was hot. This is what Xpeng did. By the way, it's a Chinese car maker. For nobody knows, stock at a range. Okay, 48 to 49. As I said, the market was a fade, went from 49 to 40. It's a $2 range. Stocks probably have 50% of its volume today already. You get the picture. What's going on here? Pause that. All right. NASDAQ futures. ARK Investment. I know Louis Pinto's involved in this, likes it. Kathy Wood, that's what she does. The focus list. I've added this, which was new. Stocks that are hot. Tesla. Okay, let's look at the top three. Tesla. Actually, well, you know what? You know what Tesla's doing. LC is good. METC, HUT has been a TradeView holding for the past month. SM, I actually shorted a little bit today. I don't suggest it. I think I'm down on it. What is it? SM. Yeah, I'll show you SM and why I did it, just so I'm not hypocritical. I'm short 1,200 shares. I want to get out of it. I don't like it. I wanted to do this. I think I'm short this, which I think has a little bit of a bit more juice in it. SU, I'm down in this. This is why I picked a position, because I think it has a lot of weekly pressure. And oil is stretched, and so is nat gas. I'm not married to it. Matter of fact, I'm going to get out of it soon. So anyway, you know what? Maybe that was a chicken, a baby. You know what? That's not a good. I'm shorted, but I don't care for it. I'm going to get out on any dip. Getting back to here. Mara. Here you go to Mara. Mara's on the list. APP is on the list, right? So let's go to Mara and apps. Now, it's up to you how you play it. Like I say, it's a broker term. I'm leading you to the water. I can't force you to drink. Here's Mara. It's up $5 today. What was the other one? APPS. I think it was up 7 last I saw. Apps, digital turbine. I sold that early in the TradeView. Yeah, apps. So we give you on Friday what was going on right here. You know, top 10, top 20. And there's the menu. It's up to you. Listen, I don't need to throw out a cheesy cliche, but we're giving you, we're pointing you in the right direction. Another power scan, same thing. It's a little bit, it's based upon a couple of different parameters, basically range, but both in play. Someone put a gun to my head. I'd say take one, take your pick. They're both just as important. Pay attention. Walter Bloomberg. I give you the upgrades and downgrades every morning. Now I'm saying that if I'm doing something from Walter Bloomberg and giving you downgrades, it would lead you to think that Walter Bloomberg's a pretty important guy, and he is. So start following Walter Bloomberg. So the guy puts out great information. I'm not the only one. Real-time information too. Okay. Earnings for the week. Listen, do your homework. There's some big movers. Roku, forgive me, Fastly, Moderna, Uber, Airbnb. Every stock on this board is going to move 10 to 30%. Fact. Forget about the options. And you know what? The majority, these are the big ones. The majority of them are going to lead other stocks too. So this is the list you need going to this week. Plan accordingly. S&P cup and handle, bullish. This was bullish last week. Go back to the videos. Lifting higher out of the rising channel, bullish again for the short term. Helene, she's right. We're a little stretched. Everybody's complacent, which, by the way, last I looked, I thought the VIX was up 7%. I think someone texted me. Yeah, the VIX right here. The VIX is, I hope it's at the low of the day. Yeah, it's at the low of the day. But it is up, and it shouldn't be up. Why should the VIX be bouncing from there when this is SPYs at highs, and this is high? So the VIX and the Qs are at the Nasdaq. So the VIX is preceding a move at this moment. It is, because both of the indices, all the indices across the board are at highs, but the VIX is what is 10% off the high, off the low. That's 10%. Anyway, getting back to Miss Helene. Because her information is relevant. We had her on. We were very lucky. I'm starting to buy some bios. That was 3 days ago, and that was down here. So 3 days ago, everybody should know that Labu is a position of TradeView, LABU. I think I sold a little bit this morning. Matter of fact, I did sell. So let's go to 3 days ago. It was posted. 3 days ago, Labu was $50. Right now, it's 59. So we're good for 20%. And we know what? We're probably going to take a little. Going to probably take a little off. Yeah, they just dipped a little bit. Was the weekly. This is what I'm looking at when I get it's pressure. All moving average is pressure. So it was a trade. And it was a safe trade because I picked the rotation properly. And it showed relative strength. And I added to a winner and did the right things on the trade. Okay, getting back to it. So I did buy some Labu. So the XBI was a little bit down. It's probably in the middle right now. It's in no man's land, but I've had it 3 days ago. There's the chart on the GLD for those that traded in the middle of the range, but it's gapping and it's giving you moves. So it tells me that I don't have to take any risk overnight. I can trade it intraday, if you will. Anybody, we had some Jets traders. We had some question on the airlines. We want to take a stab, for lack of a better term. This is the place. But all I said, there are better trades. But if you have to trade an airline, go to the best of breed. Home builders, stretched. It's not really my type of trade, but it tells me a little bit about the market and interest rates, if you will. Coach probably have more about that. Sector sentiment. Oh, hold on. That was, I gave you a trade this morning. Go over that one. Go here for bio news. Now here's another one. Besides the scans, which I tried to simplify, it's actually through a friend of mine. These are my personal ones that I post every day as well. These are my movers with, this is what I'm interested. These right here. Okay. BKKT. Let's give that. And then first, the stock had a 1,000-point range on huge volume. It's actually been a lot more volatile than it was. Let's go today, for example, though. BKKT was number one on the list. And the stock had a range from 35 to 45. So BKKT, by the way, I'm sorry about it. I don't know why I can't get this off. I already called IB today, but they can't get it. So I already had a $10 range, BKKT. Not for the faint of heart, and as they say, you don't want to be wrong there. But okay, we're giving you, also, I do these in numerical order. Here's today's range, or this was Friday's range. Amazon, Google, Shop, Tesla. Here's the relative volume leaders in numerical order. All above the moving averages, if you will. Those might be the one that may be stretched. And here you go. I go right here, the ones that finish on the high. Pre-market movers. Always go to my Twitter feed. Follow who I follow. What's going on here? Let me give you an example. The selling of SPACs is such a great opportunity. I agree, Rev. Rev's a friend of mine. See that? We retweet. Oh. Rev. He's right, the Rev. I like the Rev. Good trader. SoFi. This was early. Hope it's not up above more $1.50. SoFi. All right, let me give an example. SoFi, okay. SoFi. I'm jumping around. I apologize. I'm going to end it soon. I think I'm going over my time limit. I'm actually talking to myself too. There's SoFi. You buy it. Listen, first of all, you should have bought it through the flag a little bit earlier. But then if you wanted to take it through the new high, for those that wanted more patience, you bought SoFi at 2172. It's already had, listen, it's 11:30 Eastern. It's already had double its volume. So you bought it through, if you wanted to buy it through the flag through 2148, fine. For those who are a little bit more sheepish through 2180, fine. Still, for those that hesitated, it's near the high of the day. And that's because it's my job or our job to show you that SoFi had option activity going all morning. I wrote it down on my pad. Let's go to, and I bet you like, yeah, this is 22 minutes ago. So let's go to, got to come up, SoFi. Repeat buying in SoFi again. That was an hour ago. Now let's look at an hour ago with SoFi. SoFi right there is, this is 1124. Right here is 1024. 2137, we were alerted that SoFi options were flying off the shelf. And I posted it. That's our job. So anyway, that's my Twitter feed. Or you know what? Let's just go back to the stock area of TradeGATEHub, which I personally designed myself, and go to the top losers, for example. They're all here. NXTP. Anything that is here, it will be here. Where are we? Right here. I basically wrote the program, or we wrote the program to simplify my queries and put them into TradeGATEHub. So you guys can just look at numbers and get back to it. Make it to the trading room. I think I'm getting pinged there left and right. Timothy OLL. Tim's B. Yep, that's a trivia. The boss gives himself 20. Is that possible? Anyway, let's get down to, okay, so let me get, suppose I was coming back from lunch and I turn on my screen, I speak to the guys, I say, how you doing? I look at the positions. This is what I do. I go right here. I go to my Twitter feed. I go to my top mover list and I look what's strong. These are all the stocks on the high. So right now, DM, I mean, you know what? It makes me very upset that it's up $1.28 because I've been watching it for a week now. Has 200% volume. It's up $1.28 and has huge range. I'm interested. HYZ and the car maker, I'm interested in. Vuzi, I'm interested. What's on the low if I came back from lunch? Oh, you bastard. What happened here? Oh, right here. What's on the low? Google, Amazon's on the low. Myrna has earnings, CRD. So, right, this tells me the Nasdaq's weak. Netflix on the low. So I go to that. Then I go back to my Twitter feed. And by the way, I don't want to be redundant. My job is to share it with you guys. And when you sign on and come back after lunch, you know, I already have this ready for you. So with that being said is always keep in mind of the earnings, have a plan. Always keep in mind options expiration. Every Friday of the month is an important day coming up. The 19th, again, the 20th is Tim's birthday. So that'll tell you that that's quad witching. So until then, everybody have a good day. Have a plan. There's no bad question. Get back to us and have a good day. Trade well. Cheers.